Okay, let's go. Do some that.
All right, we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, welcome everybody. Clerk, roll call.
Trustee Sewell.
Yeah, he's here.
Stewart.
Here.
Ball.
Present.
Gunther.
Yes.
Supervisor Cox.
Here. All right, somebody took my darn pen. All right.
You know?
Yeah, you got it. Okay, first item on the agenda is public comment. Feel free to step to the podium, and you got 5 minutes. Would you like to speak? Anybody? Yeah.
I will.
All right.
Scott Reho, 205 Westview Township. Good evening. Good to see everyone. Happy end of summer, going into school. Can't believe it. Goes by so fast. I noticed that one of the items on the agenda tonight was setting salaries for the future. I just wanted to say that as a general matter, I don't believe in raises in them. I will say, however, this is probably the one group that might be an exception. We recently went through levies and all the rest of that, and of course the horrible performance on a lot of our municipalities and the counties and the rest of it. But this group has held the line and has truly shown a way of being good stewards and benefactors for the township people. There has been inflation, so it would not be unreasonable for a group that's performed so well to get a modest increase to kind of at least soften the blow of cost of living. You know, very moderate, 3-4% the average, even though we've had inflation rates of 8% a year for at least like the last 3 or 4 years. Plus, it wasn't too long ago that most of the people here tonight took a 25% pay cut, and the township trustees, I think they took a 50% pay cut. Now, some of that had to do with one meeting versus 2 and the rest of it, but you know, you guys have held the line. You've done a good job. You were deserving. So, with that said, I know these can be very contentious, this particular kind of topic, and it's always awkward, and it should be awkward, because if you haven't done a good job, you know, the other groups are certainly gonna give themselves pay raises, but last I looked, my tax rate went up by 15% by the property each year, last 2 or 3 years, so they haven't exactly been holding the line. This group's had pretty much the same levy for the last 2 or 3 years, I think, and have found efficiencies, done more services. You all also seem to get along pretty well. Everyone has their differences and their strengths, and they've brought those to bear. So I think it's been a pretty good working body, and therefore, you know, at least consider that. Holding the line is also a great option, but it would not be unreasonable for a modest, as opposed to your compatriots. They're going to take wonderful raises after they stick it to me. You guys have a good night. Good luck. Peace.
Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Good. Okay, and that's later on the agenda. So next item is the consent agenda. We're going items A through E, which is the regular meeting minutes, Township Assessor's Report, Kathy, Highway Commissioner's Report, Clerk's Report, and then my Supervisor's Report.
Motion to approve consent agenda A through E.
Seconded.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Any discussion on that? All good? Okay, roll call.
Trustee Stewart.
Yes.
Ball.
Aye.
Gunther.
Yes.
Sewell.
Yeah.
Supervisor Cox.
Yes. All right, next item is the approval of bills, and starting with item A, Clerk.
Okay, for the month of July, in general assistance, we had expenditures of $2,881.35.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All right, and just want to mention, we are starting to get more of those coming in. Lori's the best at just screening those and really helping the ones that we think that we can help the most. And that's the key. When, you know, we we have a budget and all that, and LIHEAP is gonna be starting up in October. So it's gonna be busy this year. All right, any other questions or comments? All right, roll call.
Trustee Ball?
Aye.
Gunther?
Yes.
Sewell? Stewart?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes.
Next, under Road and Bridge, we had expenditures for the month of $138,059.04.
Motion to approve. I'll second.
Okay. She's in Peoria. There was a, she told, mentioned last month about attending a conference of supervisors of roads. Anyway, she's at a conference in Peoria.
Dump truck bed we bought?
Yes, he was talking about that before. It's a new bed. I believe that they were able to put it on.
At the old body.
Right, and they were waiting on it for a long time, I believe.
Okay.
If that's what you're asking. I mean, I remember talking to
I
him.
read the bill and I thought that's what I was reading.
Right.
In lieu of buying a new truck.
Right,
Absolutely, well, yeah.
yeah.
How much are those nowadays?
I don't know, but I mean, everybody.
Year
Right.
plus out.
Well,
Yeah.
there you go. And I think she said that, they've had one on order for like how long?
Yeah, I just received it. It was 18 months.
Yeah. So I guess that, they
Now,
find, and then
so-
once you receive it, then you know how it is, cause I have a few bills like
Did this
that.
bed go on the new truck or an old truck?
To my knowledge, I think it was an older truck. It was a truck, it was something about the salt spreading, and I should be talking if I don't know. So that's what
Well, we
I
need
got
to
from the
find, I'm just,
conversation.
not that, here, it's
Send her an
well
email.
within our budget, all right?
Well, yeah, and you can always
And
email her and
I
call
was
her.
just curious if now we're gonna have to buy another one for the new truck too, but, oh, whatever, they gotta do it.
Right. All right, roll call?
Trustee Gunther?
Yes.
Sewell?
Yes.
Stewart?
Yes.
Ball?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes.
Okay, next, under Road and Bridge Equipment, there was an expenditure of $109,431.70.
See, I think that's what you're
Yeah,
talking
that's what I'm
about,
looking at.
the equipment.
Yeah.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, any questions, comments, roll call?
Trustee Sewell?
Yeah.
Stewart?
Yes.
Ball?
Yes.
Gunther?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes.
Town fund expenditures for the month were $169,691.97.
I motion to approve.
I'll second it.
All right, and I want to mention on that, so this month, we had 3 payrolls, which is always about
Yeah,
30,000.
yeah.
And then we also had the Helio Solar, if you look in your bills, which was about 30,000. Because usually we're right at that $100,000 mark, that's the difference, so.
We're gonna talk about that later.
Yep, it's on the agenda, update. Any other questions? Roll call?
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Ball?
Yes.
Gunther?
Yeah.
Sewell?
Yes.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes.
And finally, the senior center for the month had expenditures of $6,394.41.
I motion to approve.
I'll second.
And I want to mention on this in the paper I got, but maybe folks that see this or hear this, so our expenditures were 6,000, but we brought in 5,300. Just that's in lunch. So might not see the amounts that we bring in. We just hear about the amounts that we spend. So this, for $1,000, you can't get anything better. Roll call.
Trustee Stewart?
Yes.
Ball?
Yes.
Gunther?
Yes.
Sewell?
Yeah.
Supervisor Cox?
Yes. All right, reports by officers and committees. Kathy's out, but she submitted hers. Pete submitted his, so then we'll go along around to trustees. Any reports or anything? Okay. Senior Center, I'll take it. We've got a lot of great things, some new activities going on. You guys might remember the older gentleman that was here at our annual meeting that spoke for about 15 minutes,
Yes.
Oliver.
Yes.
Really sharp guy. He's in his 90s. He has a PhD, but he's really into fitness. And his lifelong dream is to create a fitness program that goes nationwide, where they actually track your scores and stuff. So I met with him for a couple hours actually, and he's on the floor in my office showing me these different workouts, everything. Point is that it actually got my brain thinking and coming up with an idea that I think is going to work here, and it's going to be called our slogan here is Live Your Best Life. So Live Your Best Life program, and it's going to be starting on Mondays. And we already do a little exercise program. This is aside from yoga that we do on Tuesdays and Fridays. But this is going to be about more than just little workouts, little chair exercises. It's going to be about socializing, doing things in the community, getting to know one another. What are their hobbies, right? And but then also being able to do the program that he's really wanted to do his whole life. And so I think it's actually a really good fit. Yeah, it's another activity that puts a little strain on us, but we don't really have anything going on Mondays. So we're going to be starting that here in the next couple of months. And the reason I bring it up too, I told you guys that I would circle back with you because he's a smart guy and he's a good guy in Collinsville. Other thing, Volkswagen, we did our first trip with St. John Memory Care, and it was awesome. They said they're going to be doing it a lot, and Jim, I'm sure you'll hear about that. Anyway, Jim volunteers there just for folks.
I'm the president of the board.
There you go, and volunteers there, right? So anyway, I drove up to the state fair yesterday in the Volkswagen, had a lot of fun, and met with the Lions Club president, and he wants to do a sightseeing where they bring in the machines, right, and they test for different things that are going wrong with your vision and stuff. And so he's going to do that for free one day, and then I'd like to maybe do a health fair the same day with that. Today, like Jim said, we had 116 people, and things are just continue to slowly just improve even. So anyway, things are going good. Any questions? Good. Okay, clerk.
Yes, thank you. Just two things. Today, Kara and I went up to the county courthouse. I got Kara trained as a voter registrar with the county. So now anybody who needs to be registered as a voter can do so at the office 5 days a week.
Can I send people here then?
Yes. And we actually can register also the Collinsville voters that live in St. Clair County. We can do that as well, even though we're basically Madison County. So anyway, so encourage people to come up. That's going to be a new service. I mean, I can register voters, but I'm not always around, and Kara's around. The other thing, you guys know, was last week I went to a training session up in Springfield. TOI put on about the April consolidated election, which it was actually fascinating. I learned a lot. The main thing, I guess, for you guys to know is that the process that we've used in the past, which is people filing petitions as independent candidates, that actually petitions will be available within 1 week, starting August 20th. The state legislature moved the filing date up. It starts the Monday after Veterans Day. It starts on the 12th of November, and it ends the following Monday, which is the 18th of November. In my report, I gave you the website to go to. You just go to the candidates guide. It's got everything that anybody would need to know. I will be posting something on the website and here on the bulletin boards for anybody that would possibly interested in.
So we're gonna have our
Filing.
signatures collected before Thanksgiving weekend.
Correct. It moved up basically a month. For whatever reason, I don't know, but it
Be
moved
done by
up.
deer season,
It
that's
moved
all
up
that
a
matters.
month. Actually, the other thing I learned that was really kind of a surprise to me, that township elections are a lot different than, say, school board elections, which I'm most familiar with. Township elections are partisan elections. They're not non-partisan elections. And what most townships do around the state, which we, to my knowledge, haven't done, maybe we did at one time, but most townships use political caucuses by the primary parties to nominate and present candidates. So that's something that can be done. It's just not something that we hadn't done, and I knew nothing about it, and I was shocked by how many townships, that's how they do it. So it's, but anyway,
Everything's
so whatever
online.
you do, don't put on a petition non-partisan, because that is not correct. It is a partisan election. If you're gonna fill out the petitions and do like we do normally, you're an independent candidate, which you'll see when you look at the candidate's guide that's in the website, so. But I'll post it up so the general public knows if they choose to have some interest in running.
My only question is if we have processes in place to make sure that we abide by the Native Language Act with elections. So if somebody comes in who primarily speaks Spanish, legally we have to provide other Native language
That's a good point.
resources. So I
Okay,
just
well,
wanna make
that's-
sure that we
I hadn't
have.
thought of that.
That's a good question. I'll look into that because I believe those resources are available, but I will check that because.
Yeah, I was
it's-
just curious if that was part
It's a
of
very
first
good point
training
because,
or.
yeah, like here, I mean, we have a number of Hispanic people that
Yeah.
potentially you don't want to discourage them because they can't read the
And our
information.
partnerships with,
Right.
gosh, things. But anyway, we can have translators or interpreters with our partnerships with communities.
Okay. All right, moving on to old business. Update on the solar project. I've asked Eric to keep this board updated every single month. He was gonna be here tonight, and I could tell he was just trying to figure out which meeting he was going to go to. And Bill and I have stayed on top with several emails almost every single day. So what we did, I said, at least give us a report that I can give to the board, okay? And so if you get that,
Yeah, I emailed
like
him
a
this morning.
timeline.
Wanted to know milestones.
Yeah, and that's the timeline where we're at. The email just said, thank you, Derek, thank you for your time and attention to the solar project. I've attached the updated timeline. The project is on schedule for mid-November installation. 2, the Ameren, Illinois interconnect and net metering review is the next big step. Number 3, the project could come in or out by 2 weeks, depending on the Ameren review. What he told me then on the phone is he wants to give himself some room. He still thinks, he would like to be ahead of this schedule that he gave, but he wants to feel good about it, because it's in writing.
Well, and I guess the only thing that I would say is under the provide initial federal solar initiative information still needs review, what's the impact to that?
Let's see, are you
On
on?
line 2,
uh,
before week 1.
Site survey, provide initial federal incentive information links and forms. Sent.
Helio's got the responsibility.
Oh, so this
Needs
is,
review.
no, the way I understand it, is it's on their end. He said sent, comma, they have to review it. He's waiting to hear back from them.
I would read it as the state or the federal.
Yeah, I think it's Department of
Right.
Yeah,
That
that's,
We're waiting for them to get back to it.
Right, it says sent, needs review,
DOE needs to review it.
yes.
Well, it says Helio's got the responsibility,
I think they sent it though.
yeah.
Yes. The other thing that, I just got this today, and a lot of the stuff has been dot loops and things that I'll have Bill go over before we do it. So to me, it sounds like we're gonna be waiting on this Ameren, interconnect and net metering agreement for utility approval. That's gonna be in 2 to 4 weeks, so estimated 8/19. I don't know what our next meeting date is, but that's a big one there. But he says everything is on schedule. We have the,
So it looks like the plan and review for approval for the offices has already been sent to you. Can you share that out to us?
what's that?
You have the CT plan review and approval for the offices and,
Yes.
for the offices anyway.
The offices. You've received it?
Yes, and so is Bill.
Yeah, can you share that to us?
Sure, yeah, I can send it. Yeah. And it's a lot of it is the same stuff that you looked at when they actually came here.
Yeah, well,
and-
it's formal now, formalized now, so yeah, just,
Yeah.
just for review. Okay.
So, and we had our meeting, on Zoom, Jim was there, Beth was there, Bill was there. I don't see any concerns myself. Bill, do you have any?
No, not this time.
Local permitting, do we know whose job that actually is as of today?
The way I understand it, that is, the way he told me is that he goes to the city of Collinsville and does all that. Helio does that.
AHJ.
Yeah, who's AHJ?
AHJ?
Yeah.
That's who has responsibility.
AHJ, I believe that's probably somebody in their office.
It says authority having jurisdiction. That's AJC.
Local,
Authority having
Well,
jurisdiction.
that would be
the AHJ.
authority.
Yeah.
But it's still, so it's not really their responsibility, it's our responsibility to figure out who that authority is and to get the local permits.
I'll ask, that's down
Yeah,
the
so
line.
my question to them is Helio identifying that authority and then we get the permits, or do they have a project manager that's gonna get the permits?
The way he
The
described to me,
general contractor?
the way he described to me is Helio does all that. That's the way he described to me.
I mean, that's not the way it's presented here, though.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying.
We just
I'd
need
ask
to,
more questions.
Well, that's why, yeah, I have a question mark. So I have a question mark on who's presenting that local permitting to Collinsville
yeah,
and the county.
because we don't wanna miss that, I mean, that's,
Right, it's down, yeah.
And are there dependencies on that? Can we just do, we gotta wait 2 to 4 weeks for that, or we can do that ahead of time?
that we have to have the.
That
I think it
approval?
looks like we're waiting
plan
on.
approvals.
Right, because that's down the line. And I'm guessing the permitting is for the actual solar panels to be up there, correct? And what I'm saying is the solar panels aren't even
Until we
coming in
have the
until
drawings for the
October.
fixtures and everything, they probably can't get the permit until we have those. Would be my guess.
And what's the timelines associated with getting those permits?
It's
2 to
right here,
4
2 to 4
weeks.
weeks.
So, end of August, or sometime between 8/20 and 9/10. Okay. Approval, October,
Anything else? And you have their number too.
yeah, I emailed him this morning asking
Okay.
for something like this.
Yeah. Did he get
Yeah,
back with
he
you?
didn't
or-
get back to me,
Okay.
but-
Well, he had mentioned though.
But that's fine.
So,
No, this.
and I'll get to you, the question on who AHJ is.
Yeah, I'm sure it's authority having jurisdiction,
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
but,
But I'll just make sure who's doing the local.
yeah.
permitting.
Yeah, 'cause
He told me in
Who's
person.
engaged in the city or the county?
He told me in person that they were doing it, and he says, oh, we have no problem
I'm
with this.
assuming it's gonna be whoever the general contract they hire is.
Right,
There's another in that for the electrical inspection, the same AHJ dependency.
Yeah, that'll be the city or the county.
all right, moving on to the decennial, update. I worked a long time on this, I'm proud of it, and the biggest reason that I'm proud of it is just realizing, how much that we've accomplished and all the good that the township is doing. I wanted to read just a little piece of it, and I wanted, you guys can go home with this, and then we have a meeting next month, and that, we want it to be our final meeting on this, right? And so, once you go through it all, you can recommend, and Scott, I'll get you this as well, because you're on the board.
Yep.
But recommend things that you would like to add, maybe things that you don't like, whatever, and give me some time then to go back through it and make the changes so we can actually have a final draft ready by next meeting, right?
So, quick question.
Yes,
So this is the township one, Kathy's got the road one?
yes,
And then, was there a third one?
Mhm.
No, okay.
Yes, those two.
no. But there's a section, what we've done well. Let's take a minute to read this here. Collinsville Township has done several things well, and we're very proud of, starting with our tax levies. We've been able to lower our actual dollar amount. Our tax levy is around 15% lower than 4 years prior. Our tax rate is down over 30%. While most other government bodies have raised their tax levy and inflation has soared, Collinsville Township has zero debt. We are overfunded on our IMRF, and we have done well on our investments, saving taxpayers money. The township is doing more by offering more services than before. We pride ourselves on 5-star customer service. We never stop looking for areas that we can better serve our residents. We're very proud of the grants that we pursued and been able to obtain. The Collinsville Township obtained a $125,000 grant to help build a much-needed parking lot for our senior center. We've also been able to get a small bus with a grant from MCT, Madison County Transit. Also provides a $15,000 grant for the cost incurred. This allows us to provide services for many more in our community, from helping Faith in Action to transporting citizens to local food pantries and taking groups of seniors on weekly field trips. The township has also received grants from Madison County for some new air conditioning units and help with our food cost at the senior center through CSBG. We're also proud of our improved partnerships with local agencies and municipalities. Currently, we have a monthly meeting now with the city, ways to work together better. We have started a joint leaf and limb pickup for the city residents. The city also gives us plenty of space to advertise all of our assistance programs in their quarterly newsletter that is sent out to each house in the city. The township allows the local fire district to use their building for meetings. We also partner and are active with several charitable groups such as the Collinsville Women's Club, Collinsville Children's Charities, the Kiwanis Club, the Junior Services Program, the Collinsville Lions, and the Collinsville Chamber of Commerce. We advertise, support, and attend several events monthly. The township is very involved in all aspects of our entire township. And then I just started just writing down a lot of things that we've done, and I'm proud, and I hope you guys are too, because it's not easy work, and and I think we've worked together well. Any other comments? And if you could email me though, just what you'd like to see, some tweaks and stuff. Moving forward to new business, the MCT micro presentation. Let me give you guys this here. Here, Ashley, there's that, and there's this here. So for everybody out there, I think this is really cool, and this is starting only in Collinsville. I had a meeting with their MCT director, S.J. Morrison, and we spoke for a long time before this even came out, and I'm very happy that it's starting here in Collinsville. But basically, it's like a mini little bus, kind of like what we have on a Volkswagen, but even smaller. But you can take it to try to simplify things. Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and then Sundays 9 to 3 for only $1. It's kind of like an Uber ride, but it's only $1. And with let's just call it what would you call yourself, Brad, when you're working for the MCT?
Bus driver.
Well, you go through the training, well-trained, educated.
Yeah.
You know who you're getting, right?
Yeah.
And you can trust them. It's not just somebody pulling up in a car that you don't know, for a buck.
Well, this is true, yeah,
Right.
we're vetted, we are vetted.
Right.
They do background check, they called way back, I thought I was signing up for secret clearance or something.
So if you gotta go shopping, and so they're gonna come and they're gonna do a presentation here at the senior center next week. And so, cause I really wanna get some of these seniors involved with this, because that's what keeps some of them from coming in, because driving is sometimes difficult. But heck, even if you wanna, I guess, go day drinking. I mean, if you wanna go to the bar, right, whatever.
No, they're not gonna let you drink on that bus.
Oh, no, I'm not, you're not drinking. What I'm saying is if you wanted to go be dropped off up at Hurricanes, I guess they could drop you off up at Hurricanes. Right, for lunch, Right.
So Monday through Saturday, 7 to 7, from 4 to 7.
Right, it
Pick
won't
you
be
up
too
at
bad
4,
before then.
Pick you up again at 7.
So,
You can't have
anyway,
it.
it just started yesterday. There's an app on your phone that I'm gonna try to get a lot of seniors to download and get using. And then if you don't have that, you can also just call and they'll do it. But this is for most all of Collinsville inside Madison
But
County.
it's not just a senior program.
No.
Any person?
Any person.
Anybody?
Anybody.
Yeah, for $1.
Get rid of my car.
Right. Well, but, you can't go up to, they're not driving you to St. Louis.
Just in Madison County.
The alcoholics are gonna take advantage.
Right. Okay, next item on the agenda is approval of the resolution setting 2025 through 2029 compensation for elected officials. I'd like to just say something before we get into this, because some people, it's kind of awkward if they don't quite understand it, but by law, we have to set all the salaries for the next township elected officials. It's just not my feeling, but it is fact, like we've been talking about. This last 4 years has been incredible success for the Collinsville Township in so many areas. From adding new programs such as leaf and limb pickup, to trips in the Volkswagen, to now being super involved with everything in our community and actually hosting one of the biggest fundraisers each year down at the Gateway Center. Oh, and we can't forget the Senior Center, which we like to call it now CSC. Look at all the improvements from the parking lot and to how many lives that now we're able to change. All this while still actually lowering budgets and lowering tax levy amounts. Not just the rate is down around 30%, but the actual dollar amount is down. We, this board, has been responsible. All this extra is possible because of the hard work that is put in. For anybody that may think that this is maybe an easy part-time job position would be wrong. Setting these salaries for another 4 years will be another very positive mark for the township. While the others are raising salaries, starting at the state employees, most of our county-wide elected officials, including county board members, to city officials' salaries, mostly because, like Scott mentioned, the cost of living has increased by about 20% over the last 4 years, so their salaries have also increased. The township, however, has not raised any elected official salaries in 12 years. In fact, trustees and the supervisor position took a huge pay reduction just 4 years ago. This resolution freezing all elected official salaries in place. That means the same salary for all elected officials, or for the supervisor and the trustees, even much less than even 12 years ago. There are some minor things in the resolution that our attorney and the clerk thought would be appropriate to put in. They are, by township law, the highway commissioner could receive a travel stipend. In previous years, it was receiving $2,100 a year. We have taken that out now, but it have added that exact amount to the actual salary. So that's why the reason it looks like that the salary is $2,100 more. All the same benefits, including the supervisor not being able to partake in any retirement benefits. Here is the resolution, and look at that. And do I have a motion on that?
Well, let me look at it.
I'd like the motion to table this vote for salaries for 1 month, to give us 4 weeks to us, the trustees, really look at this and have discussions.
Well, what I'd like to say is, I emailed this out a while back, okay? And it's just like with the solar. No, nothing is going to change in a month. The situation is still actually 4 years ago, the situation is the same as it is now, okay? Nothing's going to change. I would like to get this done with, and what I would like to do, because we have a lot of work on a lot of different projects to get done, nothing's gonna change. I think it is a very positive mark that nobody is, you could call it a slight increase for the highway commissioner, but it's the exact same pay, so.
No, I understand that, but this decision and this resolution doesn't have to be in place until November 20th. 4 weeks would allow us to dig into a little bit more and have some further conversations on if possibly even reductions need to be applied. So, my motion is to table, my motion on the floor is to table the vote for next meeting for this resolution.
There's nothing that changes.
That's the motion on the floor.
Nothing. I don't hear a second. So do we have a motion to accept the resolution?
I'll second that motion.
Okay. We'll roll call that, and then if it dies, then we'll move back into it. So this is a motion to table it and not even vote, okay?
And so is this So we can digest this, and then if we have more conversations, vote on it in a month?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why we can't have the conversations now. What are we scared of?
I'm
I mean,
scared of anything.
Then
I'm asking for
you've
one
got a
week.
motion.
I got a motion
You've
on the
got a
floor.
motion. Yes, you have a motion on the floor. So roll call on to table it and not do anything.
Trustee Ball,
Yes.
Gunther,
Yes.
Sewell,
No.
Stewart,
To table, or to?
To
have-
table.
I'll say yes, if there's more conversation.
Supervisor Cox.
No.
Can I ask you a question? So when you have a discussion?
No?
Hey, I run the meeting. If she wants to say something, she can. You're not Supervisor Ball yet.
No, well, it's just about what you said, so to have a discussion though, doesn't it have to be with all of you versus, because when you made the statement, discuss on the side, I mean, what is this, is it the sunshine? Which one is it that you can't discuss?
Open Meetings Act.
Yeah. We can't meet together, but we can discuss this amongst ourselves.
Right, and it's
I mean,
obvious that that's
I was being
happening.
stressed, because I just knew there was something, I wasn't for sure. How many
All right,
people does
moving-
it?
Moving
No more
forward.
than 2.
That's, okay,
Right.
that's what I thought, okay. So it's just, okay, I understand.
Moving forward, let's see, supervisor's report. So,
And I can provide more information in this, what I looked up quickly, I guess is why maybe more conversation. I mean, it's locked for 4 years, but, I looked at Granite City Township, Edwardsville Township, Caseyville Township, and other supervisor positions are less. Maryville just did something where the elected official position is no longer paid or might be. The point is, they created a position of the administrator who will be paid with the idea of the supervisor not having to be an elected position, which terrifies the staff every so many years. So I think part of the conversation would be, is there something that we would do more sustainable where it wouldn't be a new boss every so many years?
Is there a way to do it differently?
Yeah, I think it's.
Instead of just passing it along like we've always done, what else can we do? That's the question.
And what are other townships doing?
The resolution to set salaries, that's required by law. That's set
Absolutely.
in the state statutes.
right, we're not changing.
Every 4 years, and during that period, you can't change it. So whatever you decide now.
But now is the time that we
stays
can
for 4
change
years.
it.
For 4 years.
Yeah, so
Right.
whatever we vote on now
Correct.
won't change for 4 years.
And so, right, and so I guess what I was looking at, I looked at it too, and I looked at statewide, because it's hard. I know Matt always likes to use apples to apples, right? It's very hard with townships to do apples to apples, because some townships have nothing, and Jim knows this, right? And so my point is, it's the work that goes in here. You cannot have a part-time position, okay? You cannot have a part-time position in some of these positions. If you want the results that you've seen, okay, and it might be worth, is it worth $10,000, $20,000 to you to lose then $300,000 or whatever more? It doesn't make any sense. My point is, we are already below on some of the positions on statewide when you go to ZipRecruiter and all that, okay? We're already below on some of those positions. I thought holding the line was the responsible way to do it. And that's why it is a very touchy subject. 4 years ago this happened and it was a blow up. I think some of you were on the call, okay? It's not easy to talk about your own, salaries, and you could take it personally if somebody says, well, your position just isn't worth that amount, and knowing how much somebody put into that position. So,
At the end of the day, we're here to do the work of the township. right?
Absolutely.
So that's all we're asking for is
Right.
additional time to review if this is the best foot forward for the township.
yeah,
Do
well,
not
that's,
make
yeah,
the
that's-
decision in a 5-minute.
okay, but I do have to say this, I am very proud of this board, but
I understand that.
Jim understands this too. We send out information and we get nothing back. We get nothing back, week after week. I get held up on solar projects and stuff, we have a meeting, and then, what did we have this meeting for? There's no real questions. I want to get things done. okay?
Where's the air conditioner?
And so I wanna get things done.
Where's the air conditioner?
Well, we might be canceling
2
that.
years.
We might be canceling that. My point is, get back with me, help me out. That's all I'm asking. Help me out. When I send these things out, and I texted all you guys individually saying, hey,
Yeah.
where are you at on this?
You reached out individually on Thursday,
We talked
and
about
you
it.
wanted to vote on Tuesday, okay?
Yeah,
If you wanna really get down to it, I
right.
haven't thought about this shit since Friday. And I can explain even further. I prefer not to do it in
No,
the public
it's-
arena.
No, it's fine. I'm just saying, moving forward, it is,
But it's-
don't make it like, well,
It's not, it's,
So
It's
you're
your
how
fault.
taking it as a personal
How long
attack.
have we known about this, right?
what's
How long have
that?
we known about it?
It's every 4 years.
Right?
Yeah, it is.
So my point,
Right.
so Thursday's the first time we knew about it.
It's
That
when
you
we
reached
send out
out
the
individually.
information. That's when we
That
send
you
out the
reached out
information.
individually.
Well, why wouldn't have you
Why did we
last
wait
month
for
and
this?
say, hey, I'd like to get this done by next month?
And I
That's
did,
not-
and I told you personally that, My point is, it's like the airport, hurry up and wait. You guys want me to hurry up, and then when I get here, oh, no, let's wait.
I never
Why?
said for you to hurry up.
You're just telling me that I have not sent it out early enough to you.
I'm saying if we've known about it all this time, why is it a rush now?
No, it's every meeting, it's just now
We didn't
became
talk about
available.
these salaries every meeting. It hasn't been brought up. Kathy called me personally to ask if we had even spoken about it, which we hadn't, none of us.
Right, that's why it's on the agenda.
To speak about it and to have a discussion.
How many times
What-
do we get information and we speak about it and we vote on it? We make a motion, we speak about it, and we come up with a solution and vote. That's every meeting.
A lot of things aren't
Every
as
single
critical.
meeting.
I agree with that, yeah, but a lot of things aren't as important as this,
I'm
or
so.
have as much impact.
Right, so yeah, do, whatever questions you have, get them to me. But again, my biggest fear is because I know what's going on, and my biggest fear is people think that this is a part-time position, some of these positions, and that's not what we're here for. We're here to leave the township in a better spot than when we found it, all right?
I think
And
we're doing
continue.
a damn good job at that.
Yes, but that continues on, all right? And so you can't make this a position where somebody just comes in once a week and
But
just,
you can't take it personal because you don't even know if you're gonna win the election.
are you talking about me?
No, all of us.
Well, you
We
said
can't
him.
take-
Right, but you said me, but what I'm trying to say is,
Twice now.
here's why I take it personally, okay? If you're trying to tell me that the job that I've done, that
Where's
position.
that coming from? Who said that?
He just
did
said it.
twice.
He just said it.
I said you.
You okay? What I'm saying is, the job that I've done is
Supervisor.
not worth, the supervisor is not worth, look at all the good and all the work that we put in day after day. You have to be here. That's all I'm saying. That's all
I
I'm saying.
understand.
So, anyway,
If
you're not
somebody's
gonna
not
get
doing a
I'm
that.
good
just asking
job,
for
cut their
more
salary.
time.
Easy.
What's that?
If somebody's not doing a good job, cut their salary.
Right.
If they're not doing a good job, cut their salary.
I would, since
Because
people
I
are,
taught school for 40 years, and there's teachers did a lousy job, and they always got pay raises.
Exactly.
Yeah, but people that were doing a good job, that shouldn't get a.
Nobody's saying nobody's not
deduction.
doing a good job.
I
Well,
don't
you
even know
don't,
where
you
that
don't
came
cut salaries if they're doing good jobs.
We wanna
I-
read.
I wanna make an
Yeah.
educated
The-
decision.
Yeah, so for me, there is
You didn't go to Collinsville
100%
School District,
validity
did you?
in the rate for what the
Absolutely.
Good,
job
then maybe you
is.
make an educated decision.
I mean, I
For
think
me-
I've proven myself here that we make educated decisions amongst this
All
board.
right, what were you saying, Ashley?
So for me, it's the rate of the pay, the position of the rate of the position. Like, it's completely justifiable to me as far as what that person is doing in the pay. I think for me, it's the structure question of, should that be an elected position? Should this be a full-time position? Because yes, the other townships get paid less, but they're probably part-time supervisors. So
I can
for-
put it as simple as, we wanna see if we're getting what we paid for.
And then the other point that I also wanna make when I dug into, and I know I've brought this up before, but when I dug into other townships' budgets, we talk in our decennial report about inflation and cost of goods and everything else. Our general assistance is the lowest of anybody. So I'm concerned, I'm just concerned. We're continuing to increase the budget in other areas. You said in the report that our coverage area is higher. We know the homeless population is increasing. It's been addressed in community needs assessment. So it's just, that's just something else where, would other people look at us as to why, I mean, tens of thousands less than other townships.
Are you
So
talking about our levy or our budget?
what
Or
we are,
what we
like,
spend?
yes, like the utility assistance, the general assistance, the things that we're giving out is, like Granite City has 2 caseworkers on staff. So it's just, again, when you start to look at like, what are we doing, what are other townships doing, I just wanna make sure the community's needs are getting met, the taxpayers, should that 20,000 go back into the community to make the biggest impact? I don't know, these are the questions, right? Like, I just wanna make sure we are representing our
Isn't
taxpayers.
that more budget
I got one more
discussion
thing
now?
to say too. This is not a sneak attack or anything. I individually reached out to everybody on this board and let them know my stance before we even walked into this building tonight. So this is not a surprise.
Okay, so what, we're getting back to what you were saying. The thing about general assistance, it's tricky, right? Is because you, by law, you can't even use that money to transfer to like something else that you think that would help, okay? I thought personally that we weren't doing it correctly before. And a lot of times what you can look at on this, and this is where I'll get you. On it will show how much they're spending, but a lot of that is salaries of people, okay? And so I don't think that's fair, because a lot of these caseworkers, I know, they're making, some of them over $50,000 easily, okay? In different organizations, some of them over $75,000, big money. So it shows that they're spending that. So say they're spending $100,000 and we're only spending $30,000. I took our salary out of there and added it into our regular general fund, okay? Because I didn't want, do you remember last time we spent it on a door? Remember, they spent it on a door. I didn't agree with that because that's not helping people, right? And so, anyway, we only spend it on the items in general assistance which by law are governed. Now, we have an emergency general assistance that has a few, other things, but that you can easily spend it easier,
Yeah.
And then the max that we voted on the board is $500 on that, and it's 3 times to a year. And other communities are more impoverished than, so there's a bunch of different factors. But anyway, I'll move on to the supervisor's report. And I emailed this all to everybody, but just want everybody to know, contacted Kai Redmond about a few big insurance questions and policies. He looked into my concerns and was able to give me advice. If you guys want to speak to me more about that, you can. But he also gave us a quote then on insurance for next year for the solar panels. I'm just gonna.
Not a big jump, was it?
No.
No, it was
Right.
actually
$500 or something.
insignificant, really, in my opinion.
Huh?
That was an insignificant amount.
Well, yeah, right. So anyway, set up a soft wash for the building. This was our roof before the office building, and this is it afterwards. It had some algae growth on it, okay?
No, you said soft. Good.
Yeah, and they called it a soft wash, but point is that it had algae growth on it, and it was gonna ruin the roof. So it's kind of lucky that we started the solar program for them to get up on the roof.
How often should we schedule that now?
Well, they say that, this roof here is about 7 years old, but they say once the panels are up there, like it's not on this roof, it's not on every roof, so we just gotta check it. But hopefully, maybe it won't happen again. I don't know why it happened. So we'll just have to check it in a couple of years when we wash the solar panels. Had a discussion with Unit 10 about the back-to-school program. This year, we did a check because her name is Lizette, and she works really well with the communities that need help, okay? And so we think the best way to do it is actually, she's got a form for each teacher to fill out of students in her classroom, okay, that might need assistance. What do they need, okay? And we went and took a picture and all that, but she has all that. It's also called the Chaos Closet. But anyway, so we donated to that. It came out of our youth program budget, and I think it's a really good way to do it, and I'll stay in touch with her to find out how that's going. So I just wanted to let you guys know that
Is
we are.
that something that we may need to support every every semester a little bit, or? something
Well,
like
it
that?
might be, because I was even talking to her about tutoring. We had done a tutoring program here at the township before. Remember, I had set it up at YMCA and stuff, and she was interested in that, you know. Right. So, I completed and sent out the 2025 grant application for CSBG. This was a cool thing that Jim happened to be at too, that attended HHH Art Exhibition at St. John. This was the adult-only event that showcased all the work that went on at Summers Camp. The township provided assistance with that. I know that Jim, you were there almost every day, weren't you? So, yeah, so it's a good program. And had a lengthy, this is really good news, had a lengthy conversation with the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Development. Spoke about grant opportunities for the Collinsville, for the township, and we came up with one that's ready to go for $100,000. That's going to,
What was the money?
well, to repay us actually back for these air conditioning units. Right,
On the back, huh?
right, that's already been done. So, anyway.
I attended a meeting with the CDBG, Community Development Block Grant,
Mhm.
and they have funds as well, for units of government, so I don't know, if we could get some money from community services. Yeah, community services block grant and then community development block grant, so the development side does the structural type stuff, whereas the services would do more of like the pantry stuff, so, but if we can get someone, I don't know.
Right, and there's another one that's, I'm looking at, that, actually Eric from Helio gave it to me, but it looks like we could be eligible for $500,000, for the lot if we created more of the green space. I met with, City Manager Jackson today.
This one over here across the street?
Yeah, that one, right,
The big one?
the big one.
Oh, the big one.
The big one.
Behind the township.
Right, because I told her, so I met, we meet monthly now, and I met, and we talked about, I said, I just don't want to, I don't know which direction to go. He said the parking meters wouldn't work, and he even thought that it was a silly idea to even try to get a charity to do the Italian Fest, because he says he's done that before, and there's so many places to park, why are they gonna pay $5 or whatever, and it could just be more of an embarrassment and waste of time, you know, so that was his opinion, you know, but, yeah, so anyway, but my point is that, he's willing to help out with this, with whatever we decide to do on developing this over here. We have a lot going on right now, and we probably don't need to take on anything else at this very second. So, if that makes sense. So, anyway, there's nothing else, motion to adjourn.
I'll motion we adjourn.
Okay?
Before we
Yeah.
go, I want to acknowledge all the work that you do. And again, it's not a relation of, you know, should that position be paid out or not, it's more of a structure.
Oh, yeah.
So the amount of money and grants that we've received, the amount of everything, I just wanna, it more than pays for itself.
Right.
It's just, should it, yeah, anyway.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, so, no, it's okay. So, all right, meeting adjourned.
All right.
All right.
And I'll second, I don't know if anybody
Yeah.
seconded.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.